what are some ways that you've noticed through your time in the industry? And we shouldn't, for legal reasons, name any specific agencies, but what are some like kind of typical ways that you've noticed agencies taking advantage of models?
Gosh, that's a big question.
Pulls out a book.
Yeah, really. Yeah, I've definitely had my fair share with agencies. Back in Washington and Seattle, here in New York, LA and Paris. I was in Milan for a while, Barcelona, and like I've gotten into a lot of agencies. Mm-hmm. They look at you and obviously they're like first judging on your appearance. I would say because a lot of girls start so young, including myself, the little things that agencies say, like, and I know they're saying it from like, honestly to them, like a business perspective. You know, they're like, if you don't have these measurements, you're not going to get booked as much. So you're not making money, we're not making money. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And that's how they view it. And I get it because that is who, you know, the clients will book is, you know, this frame or this measurement or this exact look. But like agencies don't always realize the effect that they have on models, that they don't really care. I feel like they take advantage of ignorance a little bit. Naivety. And like the trust that like, oh, I'm young and like you're an adult. Yes. And like I should trust you because you're going to take care of me. That's just not the truth because again, they're looking at you as business, not always like a human being. Like all 500 of you go to this casting and whichever one of you books it, we don't care because we're getting our cut. Right. You know? Right. Even just like money, you know, not caring if you're making money to survive. Yeah. Or, you know, putting you in model apartments and being like, oh, we'll pay it now and then you have to pay us back. And then they're charging like $1,400 a month for you to share like, a room with three girls. For you to like be in a bunk bed. Yeah. With like this terrible apartment, you know, then they'll, at the end of, let's say you're like with an agency for 3 months or 6 months or a year and then you don't book enough work and then they hand you like okay, now you owe us $5,000. And it's like, what? Like, yeah. How? Yeah. Like how? Like they put, you know, they like act like they like the craziest stuff too. Yeah, and they're like, oh, yeah, we didn't tell you this, but there's a website fee, a com card fee, a blah fee, like, you know? And like, why are you charging me to be on the website? Like, isn't that how I book work? Right. Shouldn't you be making enough money to like pay to have me on the, like, don't you want me? Like to be visible to clients? Yeah. Like who are paying? Yeah. Like, didn't you sign me because you want me to be on your website and like part of your board? Just like going into this industry with no knowledge of just like the shadiness of agencies. And I think a lot of, especially like underage girls get taken advantage of because they don't know what the norm is and what they deserve, what they're worth. Right. Yeah. And sometimes so desperate for an opportunity that they'll do anything just for, you know, that one chance. Like, oh, shoot with this photographer and, oh, yeah, you'll be fine going topless, right? Yeah. You're only 17, but like, that's fine, right? Like, yeah. I think you made a really good point about like the naivety that people who haven't been in the industry, like they kind of have. And it is, you know, oftentimes it is younger women who, or girls who are, you know, like you said, quite literally children. And you expect that you have these adults that are looking out for your best interest. And you are, you know, you don't think that somebody would exploit you or deceive you for their personal gain, because especially when they act so nice at the beginning. Right. Because you're a kid, right? You know, you're a kid. And surprisingly, I feel like a lot of the time it was female agents that would sometimes be like the worst. And I'm like, I don't know if like you're projecting onto me or like, I don't know, like it's weird when like you're seeing them as like, you know, looking up to them, like
a protector. You put
like
your
teach
trust
you
in
about
them.
the industry and, you know,
Right.
like get you these jobs and take care of you and all this stuff. And then they end up being like some of the worst ones about like, oh, your body's out of blah, blah, blah. Like they
Yeah.
will say some of the worst things because
Yeah.
like, maybe women are so used to hearing those things,
Right.
you know,
Right.
or like our own
And
insecurities.
it's like fixing their own wounds because maybe someone told them that. Because a lot of times
Right.
managers and agents are former models.
Yeah, that's true.
And there's resentment there, I
Yeah.
think, a lot of times. That's why I said I never want to be an agent. Like I've like loosely managed some of my friends. I'm like, no, I'm passing you along. It's like a real, because like I
Yeah.
know that I would get resentful, like managing someone else's career, but I'm
Right.
not done with my work as an
Right.
artist, and I want to focus my time and attention on that. But I think, you know, when you're coming into the industry new and fresh, you don't have that experience, but we have to remember these agents, these casting directors, these promoters, these photographers, anybody who's in a position of power in this industry, many of them have been in these positions for 5, 10, 15, 20,
Right.
40 years.
Right.
And they've seen the new 15, 16, 17, 18-year-olds coming in, and they have a cycle. They know what to say. Like they're waiting for the opportunity. And it's kind of sad because, I mean, we don't have time to get into all the stories of, and I'm sure you have plenty.
Right.
And it's like, it's really sad that people are like really just like waiting to be predators and like waiting to take advantage. But I think it's because that's just that's just the cycle that they're in. Like it's the life that they live, and they continue to do it with these new, I mean, really victims.
They take advantage of you not knowing. Like I know a lot of models that like don't really fully read contracts either. And
Always
like
read your contract.
yes.
Always
yes.
read the contract.
Please.
And send it, honestly, like I advise people to even send it to a lawyer and like just pay, like it's worth investing to make sure that you know exactly
right
what you're signing over.
And almost every single contract that I've signed, I've asked for some sort of change. And I think a lot of people don't realize that they can do that. Like they just look at it like, oh, this is their contract. I have to abide by all their terms. But it's like, no, because contracts do everything to protect the agencies, right? Like if you do anything, like even like you book your own job or something like that, they have something in there that like, oh, but we're getting our money from it. And it's like, there's nothing in those contracts to protect you as a model. So like you have to ask for certain like things to be in there or for certain things to be removed. You can ask for things. They can say no, but then you have to be like, okay, do I want to work with these people if these are the terms? And like I have to do everything they say.
Yeah.
And like I can't really protect myself.
Right.
You know?
Right. All right, Liliana. Well, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. It was such a joy to have you here. I'm super excited to be doing this and starting more open, honest conversations around the modeling industry so that we can empower each other and really like take ownership of our careers and our lives and just, you know, be more fulfilled and happy and genuine and all the good, warm, fuzzy, kumbaya kind of things. So
yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. Well, until next time, guys, this has been the Next Gen Models podcast. If you haven't already, go check out our Instagram. We are Secrets of Modeling. And we have a book called Dirty Little Secrets of Modeling for those who want to pursue a career in this industry. It is a full encompassing guide about everything you need to know in this industry and how to deal with the stresses of the pressures, eating disorders, creeps, photographers, agencies, contracts, traveling, model apartments, the whole thing. It's all in there. So go check it out and the link in the bio on Secrets of Modeling, and tune in next time.